You might have noticed on my Twitter account that I sent out a video on Tuesday the 3rd of January 2012.
Some kind of green drink. Oh well, it must be good for you if it's green.
And if you're not following me on Twitter, why not? You should totally follow me on Twitter. That's what all the cool kids do. Don't worry, I will post a link down below which will direct you to my Twitter page. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. That video marked the first day of my detox. I am doing the detox on my 101 Things in 1001 Days challenge. And the detox I decided to choose was the Alkaline Detox diet. Well, I don't know if that's the official name, but I can tell you what it's all about. Essentially, what you do is you go on a liquid diet of some sort. But it's a liquid diet consisting of high alkaline-based foods and drinks. By the time I finish recording this video, I will be currently in day 5 of my detox, where I've been consuming nothing but water, at least 3 liters a day of water. A mixture of wheatgrass and water, which is this lovely green stuff right here. Yummy. Wheatgrass contains a very high level of alkaline, and it's good for flushing out the system. And green soups. And it's so easy to make a green soup. In fact, it's easy to make any kind of soup. Yes, there are recipes for soups out there, but really you can use any ingredients that you can think of. All you need to do is prepare your ingredients, throw it in a saucepan, add some water, boil, then simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes. Then blend. And then serve. And I have essentially cut out all forms of food, also forms of solid food, but the majority of the stuff I cut out is very high in acid. But what is the purpose in saturating yourself full of these high alkaline foods? It all boils down to the level of acid in one's body. The natural body tries to maintain itself at a balance of about pH 7.3, and that is the optimal pH balance for the body to function, to fully function. Now, whenever we eat something, the body tries to compensate for it in terms of pH balance. For example, if you eat something that's high in acid, like meat has been known to contain a high acid content. The body will try and create alkaline to counteract, to balance out the body. The body has this amazing ability to survive anything life throws at it. However, if there's too much acid in the body, and there's too few alkaline, the human body only has a small reserve of alkaline to the body to cope with. And once that's fully depleted, you start to feel bad and run down and all these negative effects, which has been even associated with diseases. And the food that we eat and the drinks that we drink affects this balance, affects this pH level by adding acid and adding alkaline to the body. There's also an element relating to emotional status. For example, if you're angry, frustrated, upset, these can create acids in your body as opposed to positive emotions like happiness and satisfaction and stuff like that. But I'm not concerned about the emotional side of this diet. I'm concerned about the food. The Western diets, which consists of America, Britain, Europe, and all these developed countries, typically have a high acid diet. The food that we eat, the drink that we drink, all contains high level of acid. Now the body is capable of balancing itself out and protecting itself against acids. The body is able to produce alkaline within itself to balance out the body's pH if we consume acid. But the trouble is, this is a finite resource. After a while, you will run out of alkaline reserves, if you continue to eat a high acid diet. Acid is dangerous for one's body. It can lead to all sorts of things, including feeling fatigued, a reduced sufficient immune system to a point it's suppressed and it's not effective, even blood cells. These little cells which carry oxygen around the body, oxygen that you need gets compromised and they don't work as efficiently as they should. The other element to all this is the environment, which is inside your gut, your digestive system. Inside this digestive system contains a whole host of microorganisms, bacteria, germs, enzymes, yeast, fungus. All of these are inside your gut. And they all compete for the resources that you consume, the nutrients, the glucose. Some of us are good bacteria, but plenty of them can be bad, which is bad for your body. And when they consume these resources, they multiply and produce toxins. They excrete toxin, which flows around your entire body. An interesting side note happens to be relating to fat. Now, the fat is used by the body to try and reduce the effects of acid. An example of this is the acid burns away at blood veins and blood arteries, and obviously the body can't have that because you'll bleed to death. So the body collects cholesterol to clog up the actual arteries. Cholesterol to clog up the arteries to make sure it's all fine. Now, in the short term, this is nothing wrong with it. The downside is you constantly create extra cholesterol to try and combat against this acid burns, and this causes to heart failures, simply because the arteries are getting blocked up with cholesterol. So a person who has a lot of fatty content in their body, just like me, means they seem to be more able to protect against the negative effects of acid than people who are skinny. But that means you retain a lot more fat, which means you get fatter and potentially morbidly obese. So if you have more of a pH balance, there's no need for this fat, so it just melts away. So the point of this detox is to cleanse the entire body and bring back balance to the body, bring back the balance of 7.3 pH. Now, I have heard of other more intense detoxes, which consist of drinking nothing but water with maybe a sprinkle of lemon juice and maybe a little bit of laxative tea if you've been a good boy. But really, what's the point? I mean, there's no point going on a fast if you're depriving your body of the necessary nutrients. At least with this alkaline detox and consuming green soups and drinks, you're getting nutrients. And one of the benefits of cleansing your body like this is your body will become more able to absorb these nutrients. So it's better to keep this balance. Whilst preparing myself for this detox, I've been doing a lot of research online trying to figure out what the best thing is to do for this diet, including listening to a talk seminar by Anthony Robbins, I think his name is, Anthony Robbins, who one of his seminars was relating to acid and alkaline. If you're interested in taking part of this acid-alkaline experiment, then there's a whole host of resources online which allows you to aid you in your quest. All you need to do is do a Google search for acid-alkaline diet, and you'll get a whole list of tables which list out all the food which contains different levels of acid and alkaline. But bear in mind, be warned, that they're not standardized. There are lots of different versions of these tables. Some say that some foods are acidic, some say that the same foods are alkaline. So really, it's best to find either the table that you trust or come up with a kind of middle ground between the two. And remember, this whole thing is not about getting the most alkaline inside your system. The point is balance, keeping that pH level at around about 7.3. And to do this, to a healthy lifestyle, the meals that you should eat should consist of around 60% alkaline foods and 40% acidic foods. And this also goes for drinks. And I guess the more alkaline the contents that you eat or drink, the healthier that you'll be. One question that comes to mind is, has there been any negative effects being on this particular detox? Things like getting headaches, getting intense cravings, getting aches and pains, even symptoms of flu. And bear in mind that all these cravings that you have are not necessarily your own cravings, but it's the cravings and the desires of these microorganisms which are inside you, and now you're changing the environment for them to live. They're dying off and they're wanting resources to survive. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, it's not been easy. The first day of the detox has been absolutely fine. I didn't feel any negative effects. It was like my stomach was saying, don't worry about it. He's not eating now? That's fine. I'll just digest this kebab he ate last night before. Everything's going to be okay. But then on the second day, I was feeling incredibly hungry throughout the entire day. And it doesn't help that I'm completely surrounded by temptations of tasty junk food. And it was getting to the point where my stomach felt like it was screaming, "God damn it, where's my pizza?" And then on the third day, I was completely run down of energy and I could barely think, and it was really tired to the point where I even went to bed early. In fact, on the third day, I was completely obsessing. I was obsessing with food. I was especially a beef Wellington. I mean, look at it! Doesn't it just look tasty and just delicious? All that meat and pastry and other stuff. I just want to eat it. I want it right now. Ah! So what I did around the fourth day is I changed my eating patterns. Eating patterns of liquid. For the first 3 days, I was consuming this lovely wheatgrass drink throughout the entire day, followed by a soup at the end. And I felt I was really drained. So I changed it up so that what I did was I had a liquid green soup in the morning, one for lunch and one for dinner. And then between that times, I consumed this wheatgrass substance. And by that point, I'd started feeling better. I'd started feeling more energized and more like myself. I hear tell many a times that around about the third day or the fourth day of doing this detox, you break through whatever wall barrier that you have and you start feeling good about yourself again. So it is possible, and I do feel good. Oh, one more thing. If you happen to be a fan of Twitter trends, then you should look out for this Twitter trend that's been going on for a while for hashtag, oh god, I can't believe I did that, hashtag League of Dieters. So if you go onto Twitter and look for this hashtag below, you might be able to see the progress of not just myself, but other people who have been going on particular diets. And by all means, you can contribute to this League of Diet trend. Long live the League!